Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches. How are you doing today? Today is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022, and this is FlossTube number 47. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you're a new subscriber or a new viewer, thank you for coming. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. I may throw in some other stitchy hobbies that I have, but for the most part, it is cross stitch. If for my returners, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me that you come back, and anyway, welcome back. And for those of you that leave comments, thank you so much. I really like hearing what you have to say, what you're stitching on, whatnot. So thank you so much for leaving those comments. So what have I been stitching on? So I have been working on still, almost done. We're past the halfway mark. My Erica Michaels ABC blocks. These are blocks that are found free on the Rainbow Gallery website. They are blocks that each block has a letter except for X, Y, and Z are all together. And with those letters are specialty stitches. And so I believe there are 24 blocks total. So anyway, so January 1st, I started the letter M and the mosaic stitch. And here is it right here. And it was a mirror with, these are the mosaic stitches, but excuse me. These were the mosaic stitches right here. And they were supposed to be done in metallic. And I said, nope. So this is a 28 count linen from Hobby Lobby. And I use thrift store flosses for all of my blocks. So these are just flosses you find in a bag, varying brands, whatnot. So that's what I'm using. So that is my letter M. And then on the 15th, I started the letter N. And this is it right here. It is Nightingale, and I believe the Norwich stitch. The Norwich stitch. And so this is it right here. The specialty stitch will be down here. There will be a nightingale and then some more N's right there. And that is what I've done there. These are fairly quick. And honestly, if I sit down and really plug through it, I could finish them in a day. Like if I have a Saturday where my husband's watching football or some other kind of sport on TV, I can pretty much finish them up in a day. But lately I've not been doing that. So that is the letter N. So there we go. I also am doing a, I'm the third wheel in a stitch along with Kim, the Contented Stitcher, and with Merritt Crawford at Just Because Buzz here on FlossTube and also on Instagram. And they are doing the Blackbird Designs stockings in the Home for the Holidays book. So right here, here's number 1. I started number 1, and I started it last week when I was editing, well, waiting for my video to upload. And so, hold up, I got some little threadsies. This is what I've gotten done. So, this is done with, well, it's done with a sulky yarn, but I can't find the particular sulky thread. I can't find a particular one I was using with this. I am using a 32 count lamb's wool Joblin. I'll be doing them all on the same fabric, the same color. I ordered 5 pieces of a 1/16 of a yard so that I wouldn't have to sit there and worry about cutting and all that kind of stuff. So that is what I've gotten done. I will work on it again while doing my video. And I will also work on it this Thursday. My husband has a doctor's appointment. I will have to drive him home, but I cannot go into the doctor's office. So I'll be waiting at the top of the parking garage where the sun is out stitching. So this is what I'm using. I am using Sulky. And this is number 4042. It is a variegated. When I first looked at it, I thought it was awfully pink, but when I stitch it up, it came out a really pretty color. So that's what I'm using for the first one. So hopefully I'll get, the goal is to do one month for the first 5 months of the year, and that will give you 7 months to stitch them up, to sew them up into little stockings. So that is my stocking. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get one of my stitches because I stitch it in my room, and because I stitch it in my room on Sundays, I don't write it down in my calendar, so it wasn't written down. Anyway, I have joined Merritt again, and one of her friends that's not on FlossTube in stitching the Prairie Schooler Santas. I decided I would never stitch them. I didn't want to stitch them. I had no desire to stitch them. And then Celeste Creates showed one of the stitching ones. Stitching Santas, I call them. And so I went and located all the stitching Santas. And so I'm stitching this one. There are 4 stitching Santas, and so I will stitch those first. And if I feel like I need to, I will stitch the rest of the ones in the revisited books. So this is what I got done. Right here, I do have one little mistake, and I filled in some little squares that were supposed to be part of his arm, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave them filled in. So basically what I do is I work on this while watching FlossTube on Sundays. My husband watches football, and I like to watch FlossTube, so I just go in the room and stitch these while watching FlossTube. So anyway, so this is my Santa. This is what I've gotten so far. So I got the bottom part of his robe, and this is the top part of his robe. So I still have his face and his hat and other stuff to do. This is going on pretty good. I'm hoping to finish one a month. So far it hasn't been too hard doing it that way. Sometimes I'll pick it up. Other times if I'm in the room, I'll just pick it up and work on it. But this is my bedroom piece. So my goal is to have the 4 stitching Santas done by the end of the year. If I do more, I do more. If I don't, I don't. It's not going to be a big deal. But anyway, so that's my goal. So that's my Santas. They're fun to stitch, but I do have to be honest, filling in the red is boring, but it is something I can do while watching FlossTube. So I don't have to count. Unless you fill in the part where his arm is, and then you just got a whole other mess. But anyway. All right, the next thing I worked on is something else for the Home for the Holidays book, and that is Christmas Garden. And this is a stitch along hosted by, again, Kim, the Contented Stitcher, and Key X Stitch, known as It's Just Stitching. It's just cross stitch. I'm sorry. I forget every week. But anyway, this is what I'm doing. So that is it right there. And I think Kim is done with hers. I'm nowhere done. I was working on this mainly on Blackbird weekends. And so this is what I've gotten done. This is the whole thing right here. And then this past weekend, I worked on, I know it wasn't Blackbird weekend, but I worked on it. I got this done right here. And I'll explain to you why I worked on it, not on a Blackbird weekend. So I got this, I finished up this little guy, and I started the little bird. So, very pretty stitch. I am going to, instead of putting Christmas Garden, let me show the book. Instead of putting Christmas Garden at the bottom, I'm going to put our last name, and I'm going to use Kim's suggestion of using the letters from the stockings. So I'll put our last name because it's pretty long, and so it'll fit. And then there are 5 places for initials, and there are 5 people in me and my husband's immediate family. We have 3 children. So that's what I'm going to do for that. So it's just going to have Quipido and all of our initials. So that's what I'm doing there. So that is what I've done on Christmas Garden. And Christmas Garden is going to go on my Whip Go board in place of Summer Breeze. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I came across a problem with my Summer Breeze pattern chart. And Summer Breeze was one of my oldest whips. And I think I may have discovered why I put it away. It is Summer Breeze by Paula Vaughn. I started this in the 90s when it first came out, so it's 30 years old. And here's what I have. Now, my Whip Go board, originally I had put 1 day a week, and I changed that to 4 days in the month that it's called. So if I sit down and work on it for 4 days straight, it's the 4 days are covered. Because I can't do one a week because we're just never home as much as I'd like to think we are. But anyway, so this is what I got done. I worked on some of these bouquets, and then I discovered a spot right here somewhere where I had gone over, basically I made a stitch and a half. I had gone over 3 threads. I don't know how I did it, but I have a whole row of them and I can't figure out where they start. I can't. So I was going to chuck it and just not get done with it, but I've come to the conclusion that what I'm going to do is I am going to finish the quilt. I'm going to do the grass around it, and maybe part of the swing, just kind of shadow the swing out a little bit, and then I'll find a cute little oval frame and stick that puppy in there and call it done. I was not enjoying the fact that I was going to have to figure out how to go straight up with that stitch. That's all wrong, because it basically moved everything over a half stitch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be able to fudge the quilt, but I don't think I could have fudged the whole piece without totally starting over, and that's not something I wanted to do. So I'm going to finish the quilt and call it done. But it is getting off my Whip Go board, and I'm adding Christmas Garden because I'm going to be starting 'Tis the Season in the same book by Blackbird Design. So that's what I'm doing with it. That was my decision I made, and it will just be fudged till the quilt is finished, and then it'll be done. So that is Christmas, Summer Breeze. I'm getting them mixed up. That's Summer Breeze by Paula Vaughn. Next I have, the Jeanette Douglas Stitch Along. This is the mini bouquets. Jeanette Douglas is doing a stitch along with mini bouquets. Let me find the cover sheet if I have one. I know I have one, maybe not. No, I don't have the cover sheet. Anyway, these are bouquets that she was releasing with her classes in 2020. Each store was going to get a different bouquet, and then 2020 happened and she never got to do her classes. So she decided to release 12 of them as a stitch along. So I got January's done. I got most of my border around the edges, and then a lady showed one that she had done, and I was like, too late. I'm not redoing it. It was very pretty. She added beads to it. It was just absolutely gorgeous. No, I might be able to do it because she basically mirrored this part up at the top, and then she put a bead in the center. I might still be able to do it. Anyway, so this is what I've done. So I finished my pineapple block, and I'm using all DMCs, and this is a 28 count coffee Joblin by Witchell. So this is it right here. Little pineapples. I used DMCs. I did blend like I do with Christmas Garden. Christmas Garden is DMCs. I'm sorry, y'all. That's 28 count mushroom for Christmas Garden. So these are, some of them are blended DMCs and some of them are just a straight color. So that's what I've gotten done. Again, that is Jeanette Douglas, A Year Bouquets, and it is free. It's on her website, and it is free. And so the border and January are out, so you're not too late if you want to get started. It is so pretty. All the little bouquets are just absolutely beautiful. And the last one, my favorite, my favorite for now, is my family piece. This was, if you've not been here long, this is a piece that Stitch and Mommy charted for me. This is, was taken from a photo of my family pew in our church, well, a church here in town. It is St. Peter's in Carencro, Louisiana. And my grandparents had a pew made. So my grandfather was a Thibodeau. My grandmother was a Picard, and he was in the electronics and radio business. So this is it. I'm so excited. So I've been working on the coat of arms, which has a fleur-de-lis. I think it's 3 fleur-de-lis across, and then some oak leaves, which when I'm stitching them, I cannot see them, but when I look at them on camera, I can see them. So that is what I got done. I had started the coat of arms, and I was able to fill in. And I'm basically picking a color and stitching it until I run out of thread. And then I pick another color and stitch it until I run out of thread. And I just keep doing that until it's filled in. So that is it right there. And that is what I've gotten done. I am so excited. So my grandfather's birthday is March 18th. So I'm hoping to have it done by his birthday. My mom's is March 19th. That was her parents. And so hopefully I can get that done by their birthday. And that's it. That's all I've stitched. So 2 things I want to mention. Maybe 2. Yes, 2. Colorado Cross Stitcher. Hold on a second. Let me get some water. Okay. Colorado Cross Stitcher is brought back Cross Stitch Camp. And for the month of February, we are doing a monochromatic piece. So I chose this by Stone Street Stitchworks. It is called the Lace Maker's Cottage. I am going to stitch this, and I will probably use one of my sulky spools that I bought for my stockings. I have one spool that's a big spool, so I'll probably just use that one. And I just need to find the fabric for it. I know I have some pieces, not sure exactly what size I'm going to use, what size fabric, but you know, we'll see. We'll figure that out. I like the sulky, and I really like it on 16/32 count. So I might try it on a 36/18 and see how that works. So, on Instagram, Kim the Contented Stitcher, and this is kind of a little topic that I want to talk to y'all about. She posted a new stitch, and I'm going to try to link the girl below. I can't remember the name of it, but it was of a bird, and Kim stitches birds. And I always love them, and I think they're beautiful, and they're kind of in that, you know, vintage vibe of, you know, the old school stitching. And I really like them, and I really enjoyed them. But then I got to thinking, what am I really, really drawn to? When I see an old sampler or when I see old stitching, what is the one thing that I'm drawn to? And that is flowers. That is, I've always loved roses. I've always loved bouquets. I just love big things of flowers. And so I decided to look through my patterns and see what did I have that had that vintagey reproduction sampler vibe, but had flowers on it. And there are several by Hands Across the Sea. There are several by Hands Across the Sea that I'd love to get, that just have those big things of flowers in the middle. And but then I remember I had this May Roses. So I think I'm gonna add this to my stitch. So Kim, instead of doing your bird, I'm gonna do this. You know, as much as I think the bird it's beautiful, and when I went on Etsy, you know, and they say this is similar and you might like this, and they started showing me all these flowers, and I was like, that's what I love. That's what I love. So I'm going to stitch what I love, and I'm going to stitch this. Not sure if I'm going to do the alphabet because it's just A through H. It does say May on the bottom. Might leave that off. My daughter and I both have birthdays in May, so I might put our initials on there, maybe on either side of here. But that's what I had originally thought when I bought this. But I want to stitch this, so I need to get some fabric for this and get stitching with that. So my question for y'all, and if y'all want to answer down below, is what are you drawn to? When you see a chart that's available, you see the photograph of it, is it a color? Is it a design element? Is it the fact that it's vintage? Is it the fabric it's stitched on? What are you drawn to? I'm drawn to flowers. I love flowers. When it comes to quilting, I like things like Right here, this is Civil War reproductions, and you can kind of see right here, these are right here. These are 30s reproductions, and those are the two fabric styles that I love. Civil War, that dark prim look, and then you have your bright, what I call kitcheny colors. And these are kind of, you know, like I said, they're 30s, and I think that's what Lori Holt started stitching with. And so those are my two favorite styles when it comes to quilting, fabric styles, I should say. When it comes to cross stitch, I lean more toward that Victorian floral motify type of thing, versus maybe some of the modern stuff, which I still stitch some of them, but you know, that's what I'm drawn to. This is what my eye goes to. For some reason, I think I can't stitch them. I don't know why, but I mean, really seriously, y'all, I can stitch them. You know, they're not that hard. Anyway, so that's what I'm drawn to. So what are you drawn to? What are some things that you like to stitch? Answer that below. We'll have a little conversation about it. And that's all I have. So thank y'all so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you guys again next week, and Lord willing, and God bless each of you, and y'all have a great week. Bye.